Greetings, geeks and nerds, and Lady Universe and White and Nerdy, and it's time for another Lady Universe review for a series that people have been telling me about for the longest time, and I never checked it out until now. We're talking about the CW Flash series, and yes, I am wearing my The Flash movie t-shirt for this, but more on basically Grant Gustin as The Flash later. As I know that people have been telling me about this series, they've been telling me time and time again, like I should check out this series. Specifically, one of my good friends that is also a subscriber here on YouTube, Blossom44100, keep telling me that I should keep checking this series out, and I did take a word up on it, which by accident I picked up season 2, which, if you're curious, yes, I will review it next year. But I'm just gonna review the first season of The Flash and give you guys my whole rundown and everything of it, the cast and characters and the plot and everything. And also it won the 2015 People's Choice Award for favorite TV drama. Do I agree with that statement? Let's find out. Let's run alongside the Scarlet Speedster, but first, let's talk about the series just in general. So, let's start with the plot, and get running with the Scarlet Speedster. So, here's the plot. As many of us are aware, the Flash is the Scarlet Speedster, but he was once known as Barry Allen, just a normal kid who had to face every normal day problems. But that night he experienced an unknown phenomenon, and his father would soon get blamed for his mother's murders, thus making Nora Allen killed by the process. But an unknown phenomenon happened to Barry as well, when he is soon struck by a lightning storm that happened when a particle accelerator just so happened to explode. With the phenomenon transforming our young Barry Allen into the superhero phenomenon that he is known as it's given him super speed that he uses to protect the world from other metahumans. As Barry Allen takes on the responsibilities of becoming the Flash, enemy to all metahumans that might take fight against him during the fight for justice. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that I am not the biggest fan of the Flash, but I know of his origins that he was struck by lightning, doused in weird chemicals, and then suddenly became the fastest man alive. This origin, I have to admit, I like more. It reminds me a lot of the Static Shock origin, where he went into a gang war, they shot at barrels which called Bang Babies, aka metahumans, and then became basically endowed with superpowers, which, as we know, Virgil Hawkins and Static Shock become Static Shock to fight evil, so it's nice to see that it's kind of mirrored for that, and I, for one, am very happy about that. So no, I didn't mind the metahuman change for Barry Allen at all. I thought it was a pretty unique change for basically the character of himself, and also having metahumans mostly going up against Barry was a pretty interesting choice, truthfully. And I have to admit, they've showed in some very good casting characters here, with a few special guest stars that we'll talk about in just a few, including some that have returned from the 90s Flash series, which I already reviewed on the channel, so if you want to do that, I will pin where you can find that video in the comments down below. So, let's jump over, or should I say jog over to the casting characters. As I'm going to start with the least main characters and work my way up into the two that we were supposed to be mostly focused on for this series. So, let's start with the casting characters, starting with Detective Joe West, played by Jesse L. Martin. Joe is a detective, one that's through and through and wants to see nothing but justice dealt in the world, especially when he learns that there are metahumans that exist in the world too. But we also find out that Joe West is actually the adopted father of that of young Barry Allen. He took him into his home and practically raised him from when he was just nothing but a boy. But Joe is one of the people, according to Barry Allen and a few other people, that know the secret that Barry is actually the Flash. But Joe cares about a lot of things, and one of the things that he especially cares about is his young daughter Iris. But we'll talk about her more in a bit, but it's honest to see why Joe cares about her so much. But not only did Joe always look out for Iris, but he's also looking out for Barry, wants the best for him, and also is pretty hesitant on letting him be the Flash despite of Barry's powers. But we understand that Joe has a heart of gold, and that's what definitely makes him one of the best side characters for the Flash and truly an inspiration for Barry.
Okay, the only red-suited dude I want in this house right now.
Next is Detective Edward Eddie Thorne, played by Rick Cosnett. And we find out Eddie is a grizzled detective officer and also the partner of Detective Joe West, as he wants to do the best that he can to try to help the new detective. And we learn that Eddie is a very grizzled detective. He wants to protect those that he loves and those that he actually cares about, and especially one of the relationship that he had with Iris. As Eddie, very much like Barry, is determined, hardworking, and will do anything and everything to protect those that he loves around him, despite the fact that he doesn't have superpowers. As while Eddie might really do love Iris, his first love is that he is a detective, so of course his love comes to that of the city that he's come to know and love and protect. But it's very clear that his heart and soul does in fact belong to Iris, who is a woman that he wants to have very good relationships with and a very good marriage with too. But we'll come back to talking about Eddie in just a bit, because Eddie revolves around spoiler territory, and I'm going to save that till about just the end of this video. Dr. Caitlin Kate Snow, played by Danielle Bannebaker. Dr. Snow is actually that of a determined doctor, as she had lost, unfortunately, her fiance due to the particle explosion that happened and kind of blamed Barry for it. Well, she at least at first blamed Barry for it, as when we first get used to her, she kind of gives Barry Allen the cold shoulder, and she gives him the cold shoulder a lot. But she would eventually warm up to Barry a lot more, though it takes her a lot of time to warm up to Barry Allen, especially after the incident that does happen to her from before. As despite her last name being Snow, and sometimes she can be kinda cold-hearted, Caitlin is in fact one of the nicest and sweetest characters that you can ever get to know or mention. And the most thing that we know about Dr. Snow is that she is in fact a doctor, that she mostly cares about Barry and his health and his well-being, as well as the friends around her. But Danielle Panabaker and Grant Gustin have some of the best on-screen chemistry in years, and it is so heartwarming, and it was a delight to actually watch from beginning to end.
Had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me.
And I have to say that they are one of the best things about this series, as their chemistry carries them to farther places than you could ever truly imagine. If you ever came to me before this time and you told me that, hey, Danielle Panabaker, aka Lila from Sky High, is in fact an even better superhero in The Flash, in a sense, than she was in Sky High, I would have called you fucking crazy. But then again, I would have had thousands of people coming after me and quoting Lila from Sky High herself.
Big mistake.
Cisco Ramon, played by Carlos Valdez. When we first meet Cisco, he's on board for everything. He's the everyday man and the everyday person that you want behind your back. As we learn that he was once the delightful engineer. As he becomes the younger brother of this delightful team, always dropping off pop culture references, becoming a nerd, but still never losing sight of what's truly important, the everyday people. As just like a younger brother, sometimes Cisco will make his mistakes. And sometimes he doesn't want to own up to those mistakes, but very similar to a brother in very brotherly fashion, he will always be behind your back and behind you every step of the way. No matter if he's right or wrong, or if you're right or wrong, he will always be very supportive and very protective of you.
Unless you want to taste your own medicine, I'd back the hell up.
Your hands are shaking. You've never killed anyone.
It's the first time for everything, Captain Cold.
Iris West, played by Candace Payton. Without a doubt, Iris is in fact and indeed the heart of Barry Allen, as without her, Barry wouldn't be the person that he probably is today, especially for her and her father. As Barry does indeed have feelings for Iris, but he doesn't know how to tell her, especially because Joe at first told him not to tell Iris in order to protect her from the villains that he would come to meet. And Iris is always writing about the Flash, trying to make people believe in this symbol that can be good in the world, a symbol for Central City, a person that they can look out for. As several Flash fans know that one day, Iris will become the future Mrs. West, but it's only time until the two of these are balled up in a ball of cuteness.
And then I realized that the reason that I couldn't stop thinking about you was because I didn't want to.
I've never stopped thinking about you.
Dr. Harrison Harry Wells, played by Tom Cavanaugh. The most thing that we learn about Dr. Wells is that he's a very insanely smart man, although he's not someone that you'd want to cross since he seems so dark and mysterious at first. But Harrison is a brilliant man who lets his scientific mind do most of the speaking for him and most of the talking for him, trying to formulate ways out of things or to find a scientific reason. As he is definitely the brains of the team, as without him, or without the brains of the team would probably fall apart without Harrison being the focal centerpiece of the entire series. But I'm going to put the pause button on talking about Harrison Wells for the moment because I have to talk about him in order to talk about basically what he is in the series, and that's for spoiler territory. So you've been warned already that spoiler territory is coming up ahead after I talk about Grant Gustin's performance as the Flash. So you've been warned here. But as all, that is spoiler warning coming territory. But above all, let's talk about the Scarlet Speedster, the Crimson Comet. Oh wait, that's Grey Garrick. But let's talk about the Scarlet Speedster, the fastest man alive, and the Flash who almost replaced Ezra Miller for the movie when Ezra was in trouble. So let's finally talk about the man, myth, and legend, Bartholomew Barry Allen, aka The Flash, played by Grant Gustin. Grant is absolutely, without a doubt, the most best thing about this series, as he definitely does personify Barry Allen. As well, yes, as Barry Allen, he investigates crimes and tries to see what everything happens and the sound and reason of everything and why it happened. Deep down inside, he is still the hero of Central City. As Grant alone has proved this throughout the entire series, as really showing off what he can do with the character of Barry Allen, and he was absolutely delightful from beginning to end. As Grant is definitely the heart and soul of the Flash series, and without him, the entire project would just pretty much fall apart quicker and faster than a paper mache project. As Barry wants nothing more than to solve the mystery of who put his father in prison and who actually killed his mother, as it was an accident that gave him his speed, but he accepts it for what it is. And as he always saves lives, as they always come first, protecting others as the Flash, the fastest man alive and the true hero of Central City.
No, they're gonna hear you get your ass kicked. Okay.
As it in my honest opinion, that Grant definitely deserves to wear the Scarlet Speedster suit, and especially that he deserves to wear it a lot more than the last asshole who wore it. Yes, I apologize to any and all Ezra Miller fans, but I did not enjoy his performance as Barry Allen. Well, I mean, I kinda did towards the middle to ending of the Flash movie, but I didn't enjoy it overall. However, for Grant Gustin's performance, he was a delight from beginning to end, as without him, the entire series would fall apart. Also, fun fact. While Ezra Miller was serving jail time before the Flash movie did come out, did you know that Grant Gustin was supposed to replace Ezra Miller? But they decided not to do that because it would confuse audience members, which I would agree. A lot of people would be pissed off to not see Ezra Miller in a Flash costume, but instead Grant Gustin. But I think that would have been a happy alternative. Now, the Flash series does have some reoccurring characters who did show up in the 90s series and who made an epic comeback in this series. For example, Barry's father, Henry Allen, is played by the great and legendary John Wesley Shipp.
And you won.
Way to go, slugger. Oh, and no more fighting. I'll do whatever I can on or off duty. The Arkham expose, I remember that. He was some writer.
The lovely, talented, and iconic Amanda Pays.
I majored in physics and chemistry, and I saw a whole lot of stuff that Science Showcase magazine would love to hear about. So, should I call their editors directly or just leave?
Tina.
I'm full of surprises tonight, aren't I, Barry? I despise you and everything you stand.
And lastly, the iconic, the legendary man, myth, and legend, Mark frickin' Hamill.
That's impossible. I never told anyone that formula.
The signatures are an exact match.
He called himself the trickster, too. Just like you.
Vanishing cream. Oh, this is one terrific escape tool, let me tell you. X-ray.
And that just names a few of the special guest stars that they had in the series, including stuff like Clancy Brown, Kelly Price, Wentworth Miller, Dominic Purcell, and plenty other more, especially Peyton List, several hundred talented actors that appeared in it, including Brandon Routh, Stephen Amell, Emily Beth Rickards, and so many more, as this was just chock full of talent from everywhere. But now we're going to step into the spoiler territory of this review, so if you don't want who the Man in Yellow, or Reverse Flash, is mentioned, and also if you don't want the series finale spoiled, you've been warned here, so you can click off the video or go and check out the Flash Season 1 right now. But with that said and done, let's talk about the series basically finale and the reveal of the Man in Yellow. So we find out that Dr. Harrison Wells is actually dead, and has been dead for some time, but another man wears the fair doctor's fair skin. And we find out whoever it is, whoever the Reverse Flash is, he's from the future, as he's been keeping an eye on Barry Allen for a very, very, incredibly, very long time. And while he has disguised his face as Dr. Harrison Wells, he is definitely, without a doubt, not Harrison, but has been keeping an eye on Barry for a very long time. And while Barry was comatose, we find out that whoever was wearing Dr. Wells' skin was actually going to kill him the night that he met him because he claimed that Barry is his valuable adversary. Then we find out his name is actually Eobard Thawne, as he wants nothing to do with Eddie, but he wants to destroy the Flash's life and everything that he stands for. And that in order for the Man in Yellow to be stopped, aka Eobard Thawne, Eddie had to sacrifice himself to make the greater good for the sacrifice that Barry could still live. And when this all happened, time was imploding on itself, that the world was meeting against the world. Earth 1 was colliding with Earth 2. As the Scarlet Speedster knew that he had to run to the rescue in order to save the universe, before the Earth could entirely collapse on itself and he would cause an infinite crisis. So, is The Flash really worth your time watching? Well, without a doubt, yes indeed. It's a fine, fantastic superhero series with great writing. It actually is a great drama, which surprises me, or doesn't surprise me, that it won a 2015 award for Best Drama, and it is definitely that. Lots of character development, lots of characters being introduced, and lots of suspense and mystery behind the scenes. Which I hope that for some of you that tuned out during the spoiler territory, you jumped out and are going to check this series out because it is worth it. So if you didn't enjoy the Flash movie, or you did, and especially if you were a fan of the 90s Flash series, which I did reference, then you should definitely check out The Flash from 2015. It is definitely a worthwhile watch. And I'm going to be like my friends and annoy everybody and I will tell everybody that I know that this series is awesome. So, if you want a good time, check out the Scarlet Speedster, run alongside him, and get struck by a bolt of lightning. Figuratively, not literally. I don't want none of my subscribers to die because of my decision, because you don't know how bad that would make me feel. And give The Flash a worthwhile run. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter, the link in the description down below. I'm a universe I want you to keep eking on. And please do check out The Flash from the CW series, or just The Flash in general, as it is a brilliantly done series. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And if you want to see my 90 Flash series review, you can check the link in the description. Check in the pinned comment down below. But and until next time, take care and keep eking on. And next time, I'm going back to the Power Rangers universe to talk about a series that is 20 years old. So join me next time as thunder will be roaring, and we'll be talking about the Power Rangers Dino Thunder.